Ruthven Todd was a Scottish novelist, poet and artist, known for his expertise on the work of poet, painter and printmaker William Blake, born in 1914 in Edinburgh, first of the 10 children of architect Walter Todd and Christian Craik, educated at Dalhousie Preparatory School, Feats College and Edinburgh College of Art, before leaving college early and being sent to work as an agricultural labourer to the Isle of Mull in the Inner Hebrides. After returning to Edinburgh, he worked as a copywriter and journalist, moving to London in 1935. In 1936, when Salvador Dalí was making a lecture in a diving suit, Todd managed to free him from the helmet when it got stuck, and he was overwhelmed by the heat, since no one else was able to get it off. In 1937, he married Cicely Crewe, the two divorcing in 1946. In 1949, he was briefly married to Paula Norworth. In 1952, he married Joellen Hall, the two divorcing in 1956. In 1947, he moved to the US, becoming a US citizen in 1959. In 1960, he moved to Mallorca, spending his last few years in the mountain village of Galilea, where he died in 1978. Aside from poetry, he wrote detective fiction under the name R.T. Campbell, calling the work bilge in his own words. In 1952, he released the first of his children's books starring Space Cat, the Cat Astronaut, a series which became very popular in the US. He is chiefly remembered today for the critical work he did concerning the work of William Blake, so much so that, when his second novel was published, he expressed irritation at his own words being valued less than his words on the work of another. In 1939, the first novel he published under his name, the anti-fascist allegory Over the Mountain, was published. In 1943, he would publish his second novel of this sort, The Lost Traveller, which we shall be reviewing today. Sadly, the current edition is a cut-down version, produced during World War II due to paper shortages, the cut pages never having been found since. At the beginning of the novel, Christopher, the protagonist, is just minding his own business, when suddenly there's an explosion as he is walking the street. When he comes to, he is in a different place, in the ruins of a mysterious town, with lizards scurrying about, and with a near infinite amount of diamonds strewn all throughout the sand. After chasing lizards for a bit, for no real reason, he realizes that he should probably try to find his way back home, and so, upon leaving the ruined city, he winds up in the desert. After discovering the desert has a very unpleasant physical quality that messes with his head, he avoids being eaten by the local predators long enough to find an entrance in the nearby rocky pass and make his way to a nearby town. This town, consisting of windowless rubber buildings, seems completely abandoned. The only thing Christopher finds is a bunch of bleeding statues and a man breaking the necks of pigeons. Before he can make any sense of this, 2 men with winged helmets arrest him for breaking curfew, speaking in hushed tones of some mysterious, all-knowing, all-powerful he whose commands he is breaking. Taken for a strange man dressed all in leather, Christopher gets released because the man picked the petals of daisies in the right way. Then, after making his way to a prison cell, the walls start talking to him, commanding him to leave the town and come back again properly. He does so, and finds the city now is totally different, changed from utilitarian to a Gothic revival style. As he puzzles over this, an airship appears and takes him prisoner. Aboard the ship, he meets his captor, Omar, the so-called chief liaison officer to the unseen he, the unseen, unknown, absolute ruler of the city whom no one has ever seen. Being informed that he will become a worker for the state, he is also told that entering the country without papers can result in him getting a very short sentence of life imprisonment in the aluminium works. Christopher finds that he must battle not only Omar, but that he must prepare for his trial, though what chance he has of coming out victorious in a conflict with Omar is anyone's guess. It is a fascinating story of a Kafkaesque battle against unreasonable forces in a hopeless quest for common sense. Sadly, the lost pages, containing goodness knows what strange occurrences, remain lost.